Live at Onigashima. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Anthony, and today we're doing chapter 1120, Atlas. This I think this is a longer chapter than we've gotten in a long time, so there's a lot of things to talk about here.
13 pages.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say no more, maybe next time. But hopping right into it, we actually cut into a flashback that I wasn't really expecting to see here, with characters that I wasn't really expecting to see, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah,
we get to see the new Will of D member, Clover.
Yeah,
that's kind of surprising.
Confirmed Clover's a D, bro. And immediately what that made me think of. So he said that like he's a D and like his brother's a D and he got killed for it before. It also kind of just makes me think that like it just because of the O'Hara connection that Robin is probably a D, right?
I was thinking the same thing, actually. I think this is a hint that Robin could be a D. It's kind of been theorized in the past anyways that Robin could be a D. One of the things that I thought about with his brother also is I wonder if his brother is actually Robin's father, because we don't know anything about Robin's father.
Robin's father is Dragon, bro.
Yeah, that's what people say. People say it's also Roger. Gold D Roger getting a little teaser into the end of the chapter.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, so finally we get the world hearing that it's Gold D Roger, because at Marineford they didn't say that, they said Gold Roger, right, when they were...
Yeah, because the Marines are still trying to control the narrative, which I had honestly forgot about a little bit until they said it here at the end, where they were all like confused, like, huh, Gold D Roger? Is that what he really said?
Vegapunk spilling the beans.
So I guess the world government has done a better job than we thought of actually covering shit up, because I mean, we all know about all this stuff.
Granted,
like,
these guys are like, these look like impel down prisoners or something, because like I don't know.
They're listening in with Dofi and Magellan down there.
Right. So it's like these guys maybe have been out of the world for a while and haven't heard the news, but I don't know. I feel like there are limited people that know like that it's Gold D Roger, and obviously like this is the time to drop big reveals like that, and this might be Vegapunk's way of doing that without like strictly taking the side of the government or not. This could be his way of like saying, hey, government's lying to you, because you know you heard them publicly say Gold Roger and stuff, but I'm here just saying, I'm slipping it in there, Gold D Roger.
Yeah. And one of the other things is also Vegapunk is, I feel like he's trying to like hedge a little bit, and he's like, hey, like, I don't know who to believe, either side can be right, but like, look at the evidence, who do you think is right?
Right, being super scientist about it.
Yeah, he's like, I guess either person's right. Cutting to the next part of the chapter, though, we cut back to Atlas at the Straw Hats with Lilith and all of them. And Atlas doing something I wasn't expecting, while also doing something I was expecting. Didn't expect her to attack Lilith.
No, I didn't either. I kind of thought, for like a second, I was like, oh my god, betrayal. But
I thought she was being mind controlled for like a split second by that one Vice Admiral Bluegrass that could just take over things. But then I realized as soon as she said it, I was like, oh, that was actually really smart of her.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that was the right move. And so this kind of confirms what we've been saying for a while. And I think that the Atlas dying prediction was kind of a layup for us. Like, I think we got that W for the channel, right?
I think most people were thinking
most people
were
thinking that, yeah. And most people were also thinking that Lilith is going to go with the Straw Hats now. Like, she's going to be the last one. And it's kind of weirdly confirmed by York here, where she's like, yep, got them all, and that's it. So like Lilith could easily just like sneak onto the Straw Hat crew at this point, you know what I mean?
Because I mean, she's basically, I mean, she kind of has to join. Where else is she gonna go after this, to be honest? She doesn't have a lab to research at. Is she gonna find some pursuit to maybe revive Vegapunk? But I don't really know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen after. I like the idea that potentially you know, because I really am a champion for Vivi coming back. I think there's an opportunity that presents itself when like both of the like Vivi and Lilith come together, because like Vegapunk supposedly knows, you know, like a lot, everything about Alabasta and stuff. He's got all this research. Vivi might not know who Lilith is, obviously, because like she's a satellite, but I feel like that could probably transition into some kind of reveal,
this giant lore drop,
like this giant lore drop. But it's like it could be a reveal for what the next step is, because I feel like Vegapunk has to help the Straw Hats now in one way or the other, and it'd be nice if like maybe that interaction pointed us to like the man marked by flames, because like Vegapunk gets this new information from Vivi and is like brain blast, and there's some connection somewhere about like, oh, you know, maybe I thought that emu guy, I thought that was a real guy, like, since I knew this before, and then gives us
That's
like a
true.
drop.
Like Vegapunk doesn't necessarily know emu exists, but he could confirm it with what Wapol and Vivi end up telling him, because they should all know at this point.
Right. So that could be like a big confirmation for Vegapunk to then like, you know, drop something else, just like candidly. So that might lead into, I think like the man marked by flames would be cool. But just, you know, and it could happen at any time. I don't know why Lilith would be here and like what Lilith's end goal is after this. But you know, if she would help the Straw Hats, I think that would be like a cool way to trigger it.
That would be also a really cool way if Lilith joins the crew. I want her to help like Frankie develop like tech and stuff if she's actually going to be there longer term.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's one thing we kind of missed from this arc overall is just, we kept saying it from the movie. It was like, hey, can't wait for Frankie to get his power up. Can't wait for him to get all these cool things. And then he did some stuff, but I feel like he could have done more, and this was supposed to be a bigger arc for him.
Yeah.
So maybe Oda extends that by kind of bringing Lilith along with us, and we just do it kind of in the aftermath of all of this.
True that. You know, one thing I do want to talk about, and I like that people caught this parallel, because people had been saying Emeth here like was, you know, on Joy Boy's crew probably, and like is Joy Boy's version of like Frankie, and he kind of proved that here, because like, you know, people made the connection of like it being a giant mech to like, you know, Frankie obviously like we think is going to be a giant mech soon. He's like a robot guy, they're both robots, you know. And he did strong left,
strong
bro,
right. Strong left,
yeah. So like he literally like posed just like him, so it was like, it was sick to see that.
Speaking of that, dude, Emmett's pretty fucking strong. He actually, like, I wouldn't say stopped the Gorosei, because he kind of did get his arm blown off.
Yeah.
But he kind of held him off for a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like, so we at the end here, he's like, can I use that thing, or like it, you know, like maybe,
you know, that reminded me of? That reminded me of the whole Android 16 in Dragon Ball, and he's gonna blow himself up so the Straw Hats can get away.
He might.
We were saying it, we felt like, hey, somebody kind of has to sacrifice themselves for the Straw Hats to get away. We said at one point maybe it could be Kuma, maybe it could be Dorian Brogy, maybe Kizaru somehow comes back into it and helps them for some reason. But this really looks like it's gonna be Emeth just trying to hold them off.
You know what would be cool is if Emeth here used Coup de Burst. or like his version of it. Yeah, I mean, it said it at that's what they did at the beginning of the chapter, right? Like they Coup de Burst. Or not the beginning, but they did that. So is that the parallel?
If he can do that, does that mean that the Mother Flame is really made out of cola? The infinite power source is actually just cola, and Frankie's been a genius this whole time.
Dude, I told you, I've been preaching Frankie for a long time, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I feel like Frankie will have something in this arc, like something. It's gotta be.
Well, we're getting a little late for that.
Well, it could be like aftermath of the arc, like since Lilith is coming with us, you know.
Yeah.
Like he said.
One of the other things is I really like seeing Atlas go straight for Venus Juro, because she actually kind of did some damage to him.
Went Pedro mode on him.
Granted, she had her Pedro moment. She killed herself and exploded. But you can see here in the next panel, it kind of like blew off his head. Granted, we all know it's just gonna regenerate, so it was like not the best.
Did he blow off her head? His head? Oh yeah, no, I see.
Yeah, it's in that last page there. He's missing like his eyeball. He kind of looks like Whitebeard after Kainu got to him.
Right, but he's like fine, you know.
Yeah. So these Vegapunks are not like a joke or anything. Granted, I do think Atlas was one of the stronger ones we saw from the beginning of the arc. She was the one that liked to fight a lot.
Yeah.
But now the question is, who's stronger, Atlas or the Iron Giant? They both kind of did the same against these Gorosei.
If we're scaling them two, bro, I don't know if they did the same. Not Lilith. Atlas did blow off this guy's head, so it would have been mortal wound versus like Emeth kind of just blocked. So I would
but
say
he's also powered down. He doesn't have all of his weaponry right now.
Atlas also fucking died.
Can't scale that.
So...
Yeah, that's true. This guy's not dead yet.
So we'll see. I think that it'll be cool to see what attack he uses next. I mean, he's up against seemingly what we think is like the strongest one, right, in War Curie, and then I think people think that Jupiter might be the weakest, or like second weakest next to
felt like
Saturn. Saturn's like the weakest, right?
one of the cool things I really like seeing from the Gorosei here is kind of how they were working together, watching Saturn just like jump off the top, and he just like jumps onto the ship like that. Like
I liked seeing him jump like a little spider like that and hold on to a thing.
Yeah,
like the crab.
But I feel like that just makes these Gorosei like even stronger. Like they seem pretty strong by themselves, but I feel like they're gonna get even stronger later in the story when we see them like really work together and like really have planned out teamwork, because we know they can speak telepathically, so their movements can be so much in sync that it can be super hard for anybody to deal with.
Yeah,
especially with 5 gigantic opponents.
It's tough. I mean, we're seeing it here. They're kind of wrecking everybody, right? Like we are like holding them off, but this is, you know, we're just holding them off, you know what I mean? Like this is an escape mission big time. I think that they're super mega threats at this point. Like the regeneration really puts them over the top for sure.
It makes them just hard to take out, and like even if you take them out for a second, they just keep on fighting at these like massive godly powers.
And
even
seemingly
Luffy,
they can go in the water too, right? Isn't the worm guy in the water?
Worm guy, yeah. I mean, we can't tell like a lot from here, but it kind of looks like it, right?
Yeah,
like they just don't seem like devil fruit users, like we were saying last week.
Yeah, I think they aren't, but maybe they're just so big, like it's like San Juan Wolf, where it just like doesn't affect him if he's like that.
That's what I felt about a lot in this chapter. It felt like Oda had trouble doing like the scaling because of the limited pages, where I think these things are like a lot bigger than they are, like especially the one where it showed Luffy on the Iron Giant together. I felt like the Iron Giant's way bigger than Luffy here.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I feel like he just needed to condense it into the space, so when we see it in the anime, we might get a better scale.
You think he'll be
and might be able to see like, hey, are they in the water or no?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that'll confirm in the anime more for sure. So I like that Saturn is like on this boat now, because this is gonna give Bonnie and or Kuma like one last smack at Saturn, or at least to see him get smacked, because Luffy gonna do some shit to him here, you know. I don't know how this is all gonna play out. We're like getting to the pinnacle of this arc, right? Because everybody's getting cornered. All the Gorosei are like right on top of them. They're in the water. One of them, the Sunny's in the air, and so like this is gonna end like pretty soon, right? I think that like I still like my idea of like the giants doing the Hikaku sovereignty to help them get away at some point.
New plan. What if the Iron Giant does the Hikaku sovereignty?
I don't know, man. I think that he's gonna do Coup de Burst or Radical Beam. He's gonna kill all this Gorosei.
Both of that. I did like though. I love how the giants were like, "Oh my god, an Iron Giant," and they had like the sparkle eyes, like Luffy, like they were just fanboying over.
Yeah, they just all fanboy.
And then Luffy's over here fanboying. Oh my god, you can talk, which I actually did want to bring up too, because it's, I mean, very reminiscent and the clear parallel to when Momo was talking to Zunisha. Right? Like only they can hear each other. Like granted, Luffy could hear it, but he couldn't talk back. So I wonder what makes Emmet a little bit different from Zunisha, where Luffy is actually able to like talk back to him.
I think now it's that like Luffy is just like more in tune with that shit, right? Because like that was a while ago. That was on Zou. That was before Gear 5. So now he might just be able to like have the voice of all things just like stronger in him because of Gear 5.
That's true, but that also speaks a lot to then Momo, right? And how strong his voice of all things was.
Yeah. I mean, he got ripened up, so
he's even stronger now. Because he did that when he was a kid.
Yeah, they ripened up his voice of all things.
But I thought it was really funny how Luffy was just like, this guy is just looking for like some Joy Boy, whoever the fuck that is.
Yeah, and Joy Boy's like, what?
And it's like, bro, please, I'm your friend.
He's like, Luffy's like, this fucking guy, right?
What a loser! He lost his friend.
Dude. I kind of feel bad for the Iron Giant now, but
because he's literally staking his life for everything, and then
they're just like robot.
Like, oh, I guess thanks.
Literally, they're like, whoa, robot. And they roasted him. They were like, seems like the last 100 years have rendered those weapons inoperable. After he's like, I'm gonna save you guys, and then he gets his shit blown off. Dude, this guy's going through it.
He's like, crap.
And then they're like, whoa, look how bad he sucks. Like, so yeah, I mean, overall, this chapter was like, it was kind of a lot. Like, there's a lot that was happening. I mean, we didn't even talk about all of Vegapunk's message, just kind of going on and on at this point. We'll see it at the end. what he's talking about.
At this point, like Vegapunk, he's saying some really cool stuff, but I feel like we should just wait for the end of the speech at this point because it's just changing every week. There's so much to have in it. The other thing though that I liked about this chapter, I just like always seeing Zoro take charge. Whenever Luffy's not there, he's like a clear number 2, right? He's telling everybody what to do despite him being late himself. Like we even see when Atlas punches Lilith, like Zoro's first like jumping into action, ready to fight too.
Yeah, it's true.
So I just like seeing him on guard.
Yeah, no, I do too. He's very on right now, and it's cool to see like the rest of the crew is just like straight up listening to him. Like they understand, they're fucking Yonko crew, bro. Like you better listen to your first mate. And,
yeah, for real.
No, they're all super with it. Like he shouts at Brook. He like to book it, Coop to burst. Like Jinbei's at the ready. He's at the helm. We got Nami holding on for dear life.
Nami like, please guys, just save me.
Chopper's on top of Big Jinbei, he's the
Usopp. We got Usopp hanging on for dear life also.
Yeah, dude.
Which actually I like that Usopp hasn't been like super scared throughout this whole thing. Like you could definitely see him in like especially in Wano in this arc, he's been more brave than he has in the rest of the series. And I like seeing him slowly get there, especially right before we get to Elbaf. I think that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, true that. Well, I'm excited to see like how these Iron Giants like that Usopp is seeing now is going to attribute to that. I feel like it would be a good kickoff to Usopp's arc if Dory and Brogy had to sacrifice themselves. That's all I'm saying. And they don't have to die. Like it can be a fake death, like to help them get away or whatever.
The usual.
Yeah. And I think that they, instead of shooting him through a giant goldfish, they can shoot him through the mouth of Mr. Sucky Suck Worm.
Yeah, that's his new name. So, but it does feel like we're definitely going to be out of here soon. So, how many chapters do you think we have left of this arc?
Oh man, I don't know.
I think we're in like the 3,
4, yeah. It's on like 3 or 4, yeah. It's getting there. Like I feel like it's gonna end like pretty damn soon. And we did see in an interview with Oda, I believe, or in the SBS, there was something that came out that he was like, "Oh, Egghead, it's crazy. Like there's already been so many things to call this an incident, but there's one more thing." And he's saving it till the end.
I think that was one of his editors, but yeah, there's supposed to be one big twist at the end, so maybe we get that soon. Maybe it might be the end of Vegapunk's speech, honestly, like whatever he finishes with.
Vegapunk is Luffy's dad. That's what it is.
Oh my god! But you know what the best part about this chapter is?
Say it.
There ain't no break next week.
No break next week, y'all. So we're gonna have some videos for you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do the chapter reviews, and we got one more also coming this week. So I think it'll be a nice jam-packed One Piece summer. That's all I gotta say. All right, y'all.
But yeah, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to fight us in the comments because we're power scaling, and it's always fun to fight people with power scaling.
Yeah, who's stronger, Atlas or Venus Churro?
I think probably Atlas.
Yeah, but Atlas is probably up there. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.